We are 100% sure that XRP will go from $8 to $10 this year. No need to fear.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Future Millionaire channel. It's great to have you here. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are in this incredible world of ours. Today, we're diving into XRP and I've got some important insights to share with you. Let's talk about what really happened during that recent crash, and more importantly, why it happened. Now, I know there's tons of speculation flying around right now. People are saying things like, BlackRock just filed for their spot XRP ETF, and all sorts of rumors. But here's the thing, it's still just speculation at this point. What I can tell you is this, that crash was 100% coordinated. Think about it. Multiple entities suddenly got their orders filled at absolutely insane price levels across all coins. And the timing? 5 p.m. on a Friday? Come on. You're telling me everyone just randomly decided to sell everything at the exact same moment? Not a chance. The hands behind this move were definitely playing dirty. This wasn't some random market movement, this was a carefully orchestrated crash. And today we're going to break down exactly what that means for you and your XRP holdings. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Could this crash be connected to those ETFs that are about to go live? I'll dig deeper into that in just a moment. But first, let me share what really caught me off guard. Look, I was expecting a liquidity grab. We all were. But this was something else entirely. This was the mother of all liquidity grabs. Honestly, I haven't seen anything like this since the COVID crash back in 2020. Just think about that for a second. Here's the reality. The right people, the insiders, the big players, they just made massive profits from this crash. But at the same time, a lot of everyday investors lost serious money. It's a tough pill to swallow, but that's how these coordinated moves work. So here's the million-dollar question we need to ask ourselves. Was this the liquidity grab before the market absolutely explodes? Because let's be real, we all know we're incredibly close to altcoin season kicking off. Everyone and their mother has been calling for alt season by the end of October. And get this, there are still people out there confidently predicting XRP will hit $5 by the end of this month. So was this crash actually a calculated cash grab right before we blast off to the moon? Let's explore that possibility.
Time will tell, but here's what I think is happening. They want to shake you out right before they flip that ETF switch. Classic move, right? Now check this out. This update just came in from Nate Gerasi, and it's huge. We're seeing another batch of S1 amendments rolling in for spot XRP ETFs. We're talking about the big players here. Bitwise, Franklin, 21 Shares, WisdomTree, Grayscale, and Canary. And here's the really exciting part. Several of these amendments now include actual ticker symbols. You know what that means? When they're adding ticker symbols, we're getting very close to launch. So think about this for a second. Could these ETFs be about to go live? Because if they are, this crash suddenly makes perfect sense. It's the oldest trick in the book. Crash the market right before the ETFs launch. Why? Simple. They shake out the weak hands, scoop up all that cheap XRP, and then when those ETFs go live and institutional money floods in, well, you can imagine what happens next. This timing is just too perfect to be a coincidence. Here's what most people missed. While everyone was panicking about the market crash, something huge just happened. XRP ETFs just got their approval, and they're about to go live. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The timing of this announcement with the market dip? That's not a coincidence, folks. This was planned. This is exactly why you need to pay attention to everything happening in the market, not just the price action. So we're looking at two possible scenarios here. Either this was all orchestrated for the ETF launch, or, and get ready for this, we're about to witness the biggest reversal in crypto history. I'm talking about a comeback that'll make your head spin. Now, before we go any further, let me clear something up. I keep seeing people saying BlackRock filed for a spot XRP ETF behind the scenes. Listen, I don't think this has anything to do with BlackRock. Until someone credible like Eleanor Tarrant confirms it, it's just speculation, pure and simple. We need to stick to the facts here, and the facts are already exciting enough. These approved ETFs alone could change everything for XRP. So while everyone else is spreading rumors, let's focus on what we know for sure.
XRP has contributed largely to the spot ETF market, recording its strongest weekly inflow. Let me show you something that'll blow your mind, the real demand for XRP that's happening right now. Check out this article I found. Even though the first XRP ETF only launched about a month ago, the data is already incredible. XRP is emerging as one of the absolute standout players with record-breaking inflows. And here's the key. This shows its strength is growing way beyond just retail investors like you and me. The numbers don't lie. XRP just recorded its largest weekly inflow ever. Think about what that means. Big players, institutional funds. They're all showing massive confidence in XRP. They're looking beyond the usual Bitcoin and Ethereum plays. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. While retail investors are looking at XRP's price decline and thinking, weakness, institutions? They see something completely different. They see a strategic entry point, and guess what? They just got an even better entry point with this crash. This is the demand we're seeing now. Imagine what happens when these ETFs actually go live. I'm telling you, when that happens, we're hitting double digits fast. People seriously underestimate this. It doesn't take nearly as much money as you think to move XRP's price. The market cap might seem big, but the actual circulating supply available for trading, that's a different story. When institutional money starts flowing through these ETFs, the price action is going to be explosive.
So get this, President Trump just announced he canceled a meeting with Z, but then says he might still have the meeting anyway. And boom, right after that, the market crashes and rebounds almost instantly. Coincidence? I don't think so. This is master-level market manipulation, plain and simple. And that's exactly why we saw such a violent crash followed by that lightning-fast rebound. Now, I'm seeing some people trying to defend this. They're saying things like, oh, he was just thinking out loud, or maybe he's planning for this or that. Come on, really? Let's be honest here and call it what it actually is. Market manipulation. Look, everyone in the crypto space sees this for exactly what it is. We're not naive. We know how this game is played. Sure, there are a few naysayers who don't want to believe it, who want to pretend this is all normal market behavior. But here's the truth. When you see coordinated moves like this, when you see markets react this dramatically to vague statements and then immediately reverse, that's not organic price action. That's manipulation, and we need to acknowledge it. The good news? Once you understand the game being played, you can position yourself accordingly. You know what's incredible? XRP holders didn't even flinch during this crash. We know exactly what we're holding. Think about this. Out of all the cryptocurrencies that just crashed, I genuinely believe XRP holders were the ones who held strong more than any other community out there. Why? Because we actually understand what we own. We know XRP is the future. We know exactly where this is headed. And let me tell you something. You'd have to pry XRP from our cold, dead hands to get it. I'm serious. We'll hold through anything. Look at our track record. Most of us held through the entire Ripple versus SEC case. That's years of uncertainty. Every single time the market crashed during that lawsuit, did we sell? Nope. We held. Because crashes, they're nothing to us. I see it all the time on X. People posting, I'm an XRP investor. Crashes don't faze me. I'm here for what's coming. And you know what? They mean it. Here's the beautiful thing. It took real vision to buy this cryptocurrency in the first place, but holding it? That's easy when you're watching that vision become reality right before your eyes. We're not just investors, we're believers, and we're watching everything we believed in start to unfold in real time. That's why these manipulated crashes don't scare us. They're just speed bumps on the road to where we know we're going. This comes from Black Swan Capitalist, and I love what they said. Love the volatility. That's where real wealth is made and destroyed. Fear sells, euphoria buys. Master the swings, and you master the game. That's pure gold right there. Because here's the truth. Volatility is exactly what brought you to crypto in the first place. Most of you don't even realize it. If you're new to crypto, think about this for a second. What really drew you into this market? It's the fact that a coin can go from 50 cents to over $10 in just 24 to 48 hours. That's the insane speed of crypto when it decides to move. Where else can you find opportunities like that? But here's what you need to understand. Sometimes you have to weather the crashes to reach those incredible gains. That's the trade-off. That's the game we're playing. And honestly, that's exactly what keeps me so invested in crypto. Sure, you might hold for what feels like forever, waiting and waiting. But then, in the span of maybe a single month, you can earn what would take most people 5 years to make at a regular job. That's not just investing, that's life-changing opportunity. The volatility that scares others away, that's our biggest advantage. While they're running from the crashes, we're positioning ourselves for the next explosive move up. Master this mindset, embrace the volatility, and you'll understand why we hold through anything. There's literally no other market like crypto. Nothing even comes close. But here's what I don't understand. How can anyone keep pushing this store of value narrative when Bitcoin dumps every single time something happens in the world? Look, I've said this multiple times on this channel, and I'll say it again. I don't see Bitcoin as a store of value, not even close. Here's why. The second there's any hint of conflict anywhere in the world, what happens? Bitcoin crashes. And unfortunately, it drags the entire market down with it because we're still tied to Bitcoin's movements. But here's the good news. This won't last forever. XRP will eventually decouple from Bitcoin. I believe it's going to happen through two things: regulations and real-world utility. That's our path to independence. Think about this. How can anyone seriously call Bitcoin a store of value when it's this unstable? We're not even talking about major world events here. The president says a couple of words, makes one vague statement, and boom, Bitcoin's crashing out immediately. That's not a store of value, folks. That's a volatility machine. A real store of value doesn't lose 20% because someone tweeted something. This is exactly why XRP's future is so different. We're building on utility, not just speculation. And once that decoupling happens, we won't be at the mercy of Bitcoin's every move anymore. Let me be crystal clear. If you can't handle this volatility, crypto is not for you. This isn't for the weak. If your instinct is to sell everything and run at the first sign of trouble, then this market will eat you alive. You need two things to succeed in crypto: the patience of a saint and a stomach made of steel. Here's what I mean. One day you're checking your portfolio and you're thinking, wow, I'm way up on my XRP. The very next day, you could be down 10, 20, 30, even 40%. That's the reality. But here's the key. You need that iron stomach so you don't panic sell. You have to become emotionless. No fear, no greed, just strategy. The problem is, a lot of people jumped into crypto thinking it was their ticket to overnight riches. But once you're actually in the game, reality hits fast. You might end up holding your cryptocurrency for years. Especially with something like XRP, because it's tied to the financial rails being built all around the world right now. Those rails, that's the track our XRP train is going to run on. And let me tell you, the new financial system is coming. It's so close now. I still believe we're going to see it go live within the next 24 months. Here's my prediction. We'll likely see one more major crash, and then we'll witness the rise of this new financial system. Why am I so confident? Look at what's happening right now. All the major players are positioning themselves. The biggest banks on the planet are embracing crypto and stablecoins. When that happens, we're not talking about some distant 2030 timeline anymore. We're talking about now. The transformation is already underway. It's going to happen much sooner. Big short on XRP crumbles. Macro predicts $8 price moonshot. So, Peter Brandt was calling for another crash on XRP, and yes, we got that crash. But here's the thing. Most people don't agree that it's going to keep crashing down. The XRP holders I know, we're not worried. We know a new all-time high is coming. We know price discovery is right around the corner. Everyone's positioning themselves for it right now. All you need to do is stay patient long enough to see it happen. Look, the market might be manipulated today, but even that manipulation will end. It always does. Remember this, crypto is still the Wild West right now. There are basically no regulations in this space, but that's about to change. Regulations are coming very soon, and when they arrive, utility-driven cryptocurrencies like XRP are going to absolutely explode. Why? Because XRP was always designed to work within the system. While other cryptos will struggle with compliance, XRP will thrive. This is going to benefit XRP more than any other cryptocurrency out there. You're not just holding a coin, you're holding the future. That's what I'm telling you. So until that moment arrives,
Here's what we do. Stay patient. Stay positive. And let's get rich together. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you being here. I'll see you in the next one. Have an absolutely fantastic night, and remember, we're all in this together.